the idea of like AI and employment, like that is a huge part of the conversation. And I think right now, finally, it's at the point where there's been these whispers of, oh my God, like what's going to happen to people's jobs? And some of the stuff that we do is in the real estate space, one of the products that we have. And there's really this kind of big push of like, oh, AI is not going to replace anybody. AI is not going to replace anybody. And like, guys, we got to just stop pretending like AI is going to replace a lot of people. And I think that that's actually not necessarily a bad thing. I think it just depends on the type of person you are. And I think that the shift has now happened. There's kind of been like whispers and rumors that this was going to happen. But now when you start seeing these giant companies that have kind of like started to okay it, you look at Microsoft doing, you know, these reductions in workforce, like a RIF on massive profits and revenue.
Yes, exactly.
That's where things have started to change. And historically, when you see these layoffs, it's kind of like this air cover during a crisis. Okay, crisis happens, companies can do layoffs. And, you know, it's funny because they always tend to then record great profits and it is what it is. But there's always been around some sort of crisis. And that's kind of been the defense. But now you are starting to see reductions in workforce on record revenues and record profits. So the shift has finally occurred.
Which are going to make those profits in the short term, at least, even larger.
Well, I think short term and long term.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not trying to do short.
I just don't know. When I'm using Microsoft, I just don't know what AI startup that we don't even know yet comes and maybe makes Microsoft's going to be tough to unseat. But there's going to be a lot of challenges to some companies. But you're right. Agreed.
Yeah, I think the companies. I think there's definitely going to be a few companies we don't even know about yet that are obviously going to come up and have like a massive seat at the table.